So, dear Dhamma friends, when we observe our inhalation exhalations, so in the beginning we take this inhalation as exhalation as a mental object. But in the deeper level, there is no such a thing called inhalation or exhalation. So, but in the beginning, we have to get help to go deeper. Another thing is, in the beginning, we separate observer and the subject and the object. So what we observing. So the observer is your mind, and observe that the subject object is your breathing. So be very clear. In later, little by little, when you go deeper, you recognizing the sensation itself, your mind, because there is no sensation going to arise without mind. So in that level, in the deeper level, recognize this very carefully, understand this very carefully, because remember the very first thing, no one can teach meditation. Only thing, with little information I can help. I don't know anywhere if anybody can teach meditation, but for me, I cannot teach meditation. I can share some information that when you work yourself, you can use that and get help. So, when you observe deeply, remember to observe without you. So, without the subject, without the subject, because if you become the subject and if the breathing become the object, or the sensation or the thoughts become the object, you always observing with your past, who you are. You means your past. So your name, your form, your consciousness, your ideas, your feelings, that everything who you are. You are means your past. If all the details in this so far in your life, so as example, we take your age from birth to today, 30 years. So we take out all the details from that 30 years. Your parents, your name, because that name gave 30 years when your life start. That's mean your name all 30 years. So we take out that, and then all the incidents happen, whatever on the journey within this 30 years, if you take out all, erase that all, in this very moment you are nobody. So you become somebody because of your history. So with that history, if you start to observe, you cannot recognize what is happening in this very moment. So that's why you have to drop who you are, drop the history, be empty, be free completely. And that freedom will help you to see what is happening in this very moment. That recognition will uplift you to experience new moment. And that is where you recognizing it moment by moment change. So once you recognize the subject and object, this both the same. And with the help of the object, once you recognize that the subject also change in that very moment, there's nothing to release. You already release it, like you pull the trigger and open the parachute. Once you open the parachute, there's nothing to do. the itself, you start to go with it. But pulling the trigger is the important thing. You have to be conscious. You have to know how high you are, how far you came, how far you have to go. This all you have to know when it comes to the moment. Why? Because if you do it before or after, the destination going to become change. So like that, when you observe deeply, learn, remember, you recognize the sensation. Even in the beginning, we come with the inhalation, exhalation, but later, but as a beginner, don't try. When later, any sensation, the physical sensation, even the thoughts, the mind, anything, just the sensation, it is a foundation for maintenance. So in Vipassana, there are 4 kinds of meditation: Kaya Anupassana, Vedana Anupassana, Chitta Anupassana, Dhamma Anupassana. So the Kaya Anupassana means contemplating the body. And Vedana Anupassana means contemplating the pain, sensation. Chitta Anupassana, contemplating the mind, thoughts. Dhamma Anupassana, contemplating the very nature of this physical body and the behavior, inside, outside. And when you go deeper with this, any 4 out of 4, you get the change. Once you recognize the change, you recognize it as an object, and then later, once you able to drop your history and observe the sensation as you recognize even the subject also change according to that object. So that is where that you recognizing, you completely, fully experience this change moment by moment. So in the beginning, remember, learn to observe without history. Learn to observe without a pattern. So even though in the beginning we say observe inhalation, exhalation, this is a long inhalation, short inhalation. In later, when it comes to the sensation, it is just the sensation. So it's like observing inhalation, exhalation. Oh, monk told me to observe, it's like a babysitting. So we cannot do babysitting or massage the head. So that's why you have to be very clear and understand. And there is nothing you can that miss here. Because very clearly, every day I explain this. So that's why I tell, if you have any kind of, you go back to that our previous videos, or just send me a message. So because if you get something wrong, that is not good for you. So that's why be very clear yourself, question yourself, look yourself, get into the right method. Once you have that right understanding how to do this, and then you yourself, you become free. So I don't want you to every day sit in front of here and listen to me. I want you to learn this and move away, go away. If I see you every day here, your name here every day here, that's, what's the point? No, go yourself and start your own journey. So if you have something, if you get tangled, if you don't get into the right, then we can have a discussion. So that's how this works. Somehow, remember to get into your path. So that's why you have to be very clear. So remember, make it very simple. When you observe without a history, observe without a passion, observe without the method. To get into that freedom, you have to follow this all. Once you have that, then deeper level is the sensation. And then in the beginning, subject and object, and then later, there is no subject or object. The itself, the sensation is the subject. That's mean the sensation, arising, existing, and disappearance is the itself you. And then once you come to that, you will see. It's like you come above the gravity, no directions. no speed. So anything is possible in that moment. So with that, our very nature is always that we forgetting who we are and what are the capabilities that we have. So remember that everything inbuilt in you, that there is nothing that new can come from outside. If even the Buddha come and in front of you initiate, it's not going to because of the Buddha, not going to happen because of the Buddha initiate you. No, it happened because of your own profitable skills. That is the very nature of this world. So remember that yourself. There is no one can involve in with your life and change your life. But it is you, it is inbuilt already. That how powerful you are. You are the masterpiece of this universe, and you have enormous power, the strength, abilities to go to any direction in this universe. So you are capable for that. When you become a human being, remember, there is nothing that lack inside you to come somebody and put inside you. There's nothing, there's no any space. You are already complete. So you have to trust that. So there was a person in New York, and he was waiting for the Boston train number 120. And while he was waiting, he had 40 minutes to wait for the train. While he was waiting, he saw this weight machine, newly built weight machine. And this weight machine have a little sensor that when you come closer, it can track your identity, because that your identity have the, like a credit card, it has a magnetic field line, and it can detect all the informations. It's like when you on your cell phone, so there are certain places when you go, they can get all the information from your cell phone. So like that, it can detect the identity. So Mr. Smith was waiting for the Boston train number 120. And he thought, oh, I have 40 minutes, nothing to do. And he thought to get into this weight machine and see. And he jumped into the weight machine, and they push the button, start, and then the numbers go. And then it's like a flashlight and came, and then the name came. Your name, Mr. Smith. And age, 55. And the weight is 168 pounds. And then you are waiting for the train 120 to Boston. This person was shocked. He just pushed the button. But he got suddenly this all information. And he was kind of like, amazed. And he was looking here and there, and how this happened? How this know this all? And so then again he stepped back and again jumped to the weight machine. Then again it say, you are still Mr. Smith, that you are still 55 years old. You are still 168 pounds, and you are still waiting for Boston train 120. And he got a kind of like, this for sure, how this possible? And then again he started to think, and he thought, there is something. It cannot be like this. So what he did, he went to the the restroom, and then he changed his cloth and wearing different the t-shirt and spend little time there. And then now he was thinking how this is possible. There should be something. I need to understand this. He forget everything and he's trying to deal with this weight machine. And then again he came after a while, he resting somewhere and came and jumped to the machine. Then again he start to show some the movements and the light, flashing light and pum pum. So like that, and then again came. You are still Mr. Smith. And you are still 55 years old. Your weight is still 168, but you missed the train to Boston 120. So we are the same like that. We have everything. We have our identity, but we forget it. We forget it and we go here and there. And if you see somebody say something like reading your palm and reading your horoscope and psychic people, if they say something about you, you become amazed. And if they say your husband name or the wife name or the children names, your age, suddenly you become, but you don't understand it is there with you. Why you become so wonder when somebody say already what you have? So what is the miracle with it? There's nothing, because it's already there. So like that, in this samsaric journey, you accumulate a lot of things. There's many ways that your character become changed tomorrow. There's nothing to become amazed yourself. Only thing is just put your attention to yourself and see, are you recognizing yourself? Are you know that you have the identity with this all the qualities? Once you know that, you are how capable. You know one drop of water, how capable it is. And when you see the desert, you see how rough it is, how difficult that, and how dangerous it is. And you know this California, long time ago, it was a desert. And people say in the history, and no crowded like this. It just was empty land. But you know the miracle of the power of the one drop of water. It has power to transform entire desert to a forest. So you know the seasons. And we know when the seasons come, though it's cold, it's hot, so it's windy, so like that seasons. And people track the seasons. And sometimes we are also like that. We have a character like seasons. Far away when we come, people can say, oh, he's like this. Oh, he's like that. So maybe you never saw the already the character that you have. You are kind of like a season. When you are come far away, when you know the month, that during the year, when you know the month and you know what kind of the behavior going to be, the nature, environment. Same like when people hear your name, they know your character. So then you have to be aware. So remember, don't be just the wind. Take the dust from the desert. Just be a drop of water. You don't need to be a huge train from the beginning. You know, have you seen how the day start? Most of you never saw that. One day and get ready early morning like a 4 o'clock and climb a higher place and wait and see how the day start, how the sun arise. It's a very tiny, tiny, tiny little yellow line. That's how it starts. And when little by little, it start to grow. It's not, the day doesn't appear suddenly, boom. No, it not come like that. And little by little, second by second, it start to appear. And then suddenly, it start to become complete. So yourself start to develop a good quality, little by little, like the drop of water. Consistency. Develop it inside you. Again and again. You know how people get into this, all the unprofitable habits? We cannot use the bad, unprofitable habits. So little by little. Smoking, they never start to smoke 10 cigarettes per day. So they start little by little. They never get into alcohol or anything, drugs or anything suddenly with the huge amount. No, little bit. But then what happened? They start to keep continue and develop a current. Now they cannot stay away from it. And without thinking, they go with it. So the same power you can develop with the good, profitable things. So then you start to be focused and have the compassion, have some good qualities within yourself and develop it within yourself. Why? Because most of people around us, it's like a desert, just the dust, no any value. They don't develop anything like that. And they have very, very, very difficult, hard way of handling the life. So how about when you caught up in the middle of them? It's like you get into the tornado of dust. So that's why you have, at least in your family, with your husband, wife, children, friends and family members, with your friends, at least start to develop some good quality yourself and be like a drop of water. You can change the desert to a forest. You have ability to do that. So it is your responsibility. And then you know there are a lot of people around you, they have dry heart, very dry lifestyle. They don't have any good compassion or the loving kindness, generosity or something like that. There are a lot of people who you see around the world, that what is happening nowadays. If you just see the world news for 1 hour, you recognize where we are. It's around all of us. And if you're not aware about it, if you don't develop it within yourself, your own family members can do the same thing like that. Oh, that kind of people can knock your door tomorrow. So then yourself, you have responsibility. You can transform yourself and you can help others to do that way. So the very first thing, be kind of like a drop of water. And you have power to transform the desert to the forest. Do it. And it's not going to happen overnight, but little by little, do it. You know, when 1961, when the Germany divided to two parts, the Western and Eastern, and then Berlin, they built this iron curtain called Berlin Wall, and dividing East and West. So the one side of the people, one day, what they did, they used to throw all the garbage to other side. And the empty cans, bottles, they start to throw it to other side. And the other side people was so mad, and they were trying to attack back with the empty bottles, the tins, to the garbage. Then there was a wise person and came and told, wait, just do like this way. And what they did, they start to crush all the apple and grapes and all the vegetables and juice, and they make the juice and put it to that cans and bottles and everything. And then they put a label. You always throw back with what you have. Remember this. You always throw back with what you have. And then rather than putting all the dirt to other side, they start to throw all the juice, vegetable juice, fruit juice, apple, grapes, so like that. See the power of change, see the power of thinking, the vision that people can change. So you are so powerful than you think. So with your own people, your husband, wife, children, friends and family members, brothers, sisters. So start yourself to transform little by little, not overnight, and give some chance and give some space, give some opportunity, and welcome them with whatever they have. But at the same time, yourself, remember, be like a drop of water, can change the desert to a forest. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi dīgāyuko bhava. Ittavata ca amme sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vangotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.